Well, it gets substantive today. This is when they're really going to drill down on issues with the nominee, so you'll hear a lot more from him as he answers questions today. A number of Democrats have made clear that one of their priorities is getting him to answer the question of whether or not he thinks Roe v. Wade was correctly decided. They're going to push him on abortion rights, on presidential power, on the scope of the power of administrative agencies, whether he thinks a sitting president should or should not be subjected to civil and criminal investigations. Remember, a lot of legal eagles on this panel, including former prosecutor, Democrat Senator Dick Blumenthal of Connecticut. Here's what he has said about Kavanaugh. He says, this judge is outside the mainstream. He is extreme even by conservative standards. His fellow Democrat senator in Connecticut also believes that there is a threat when it comes to guns and the NRA when it comes to Brett Kavanaugh. He says this, Kavanaugh is a Second Amendment radical. He likely believes that Congress can pass virtually no laws, that state legislatures can pass virtually no laws regulating firearms. Kavanaugh will get to answer those questions directly, but GOP Senator Ben Sasse, in his opening remarks yesterday, said none of Kavanaugh's personal views on anything should matter. This is what should matter.
The question before us is whether or not he has the temperament and the character to take his policy views and his political preferences and put them in a box marked irrelevant and set it aside every morning when he puts on the black robe. The question is, does he have the character and temperament to do that? If you don't think he does, vote no. But if you think he does, stop the charade.
So we'll see. It was very spirited yesterday, both on the dais and, of course, in the crowd. So we'll see if either of those things kick up again today. And it's important to remember there have been weeks and weeks of preparation, those so-called murder boards where Kavanaugh sits in front of people who act as questioners. I've talked to a couple of senators who've done that behind the scenes with him and say they've given him everything they've got and they think he is as prepared as any nominee could possibly be.
You mentioned the crowd. By my count, 61 protesters charged with disorderly conduct, 9 others charged with obstruction or what they call crowding there on Capitol Hill. Do you have a sense for how the security is working in that room, Shannon?
Yeah, just behind me, right below the skybox, is where those public figures are able to come in and sit. People who have gotten a ticket and have stood in line, and they are surrounded by U.S. Capitol Police. There are numerous officers here, and they actually are trained just looking in at every angle at the people who sit in those seats. So the minute they see a twitch from them, they give them a warning, and they say, if you continue, you will be arrested. Many of them continue to talk and scream, and they are taken out. It happens very quickly, Bill.